when you go in your car, you think you're you, and then you think the car that you're driving is another thing, and then you think the road is another thing. Then you think other people's are other thing. Then you think the sky is something over there. No, everything is together.
Everything is together. One thing.
And then that fucking hurts. And that shit hurts because, you know, and then what happens is that when you begin to open your ass to that, it turns into the perception of the unit here naturally. So you, whatever the fuck you see, you hear it, you taste it, all of a sudden it's like by itself, and then it becomes more intensified. So you start going like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, if you're not ready for this, you're gonna fucking die of a heart attack, or you're gonna end up in a hospital, or you're gonna end up in a fucking institution. Because I went through 3 years in here thinking I was crazy until I fucking began to get information that if you want to be crazy personally, that's a hell of a story. Good luck. But if you want to experience what fucking craziness is by itself, then we're talking. Now you're going to another game.
Yeah, so Wally, okay, like the part I couldn't understand is when you seen the feline entity.
Oh man, Jesus. Look, I had a hard time looking at Anubis. That was the first one. I had a hard time. I kept looking at his mouth, and he was not moving it. And then I understood that, you know, okay, so everybody here talks telepathically, and then they were saying, and so do humans, but they forgot. And I'm going, oh my God, Jesus. And I'm going like, they were giving me like a break. Everybody was laughing, whispering around, and it was because of the way I was reacting with the other unit, with Algebra X. When I got on Dasher units is when everything began to get a little better. And then Anubis was like fucking almost 20 fucking feet tall. Then when I Googled that on the internet, they come out with 11 feet. They fucking lying. Anubis is a little taller than that. And then my cat unit was like 15 feet, so they were almost face to face. And I'm going like, and then I was looking at the other unit, Archibald X, as they were fixing it because he fainted like 60 fucking times when I was there.
What?
And then he fainted, and then I was complaining. I said, like, I thought this unit was interstellar, but they told me it's only fifth dimensional interstellar, 5 dimensions only. And I'm going like, Dasher is 7, and then Meredith is 9. That's where they're going next. You're going to the girl, and then I'm going like, okay, why? Is it because the information is going to be more overwhelming, and then we're going to go into the infinite aspects of the program. Infinity, what you call infinity, and I'm going like, oh my God, who am I going to use for that? I said like, Meredith will be enough, and I'm going like, so I'm going to be a woman. I said like, you already have been her.
What?
And yeah, I have been, and you know, I have a bunch of. They showed me all my avatars, and I was like, oh my God, so is this? Am I special? And he was like, no, everybody's the same, but they forgot. But your unit didn't, and that's what you're sharing the information to the other units down there. And because all the realms are together, look. The
so
wait.
What do you mean by they showed you all your avatars?
All the avatars that I thought were fucking, all the fucking other bodies that I was using during the dreams and during the trips.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Into all the fucking bodies that I was using, they showed them to me, and then I already knew them by name, except a couple of them. And it was funny because they both had the same name, which are units that are females that I call Agathas. Both. They both named Agatha, but they're from different star systems, and then they're females, and then they're witches. Their specialty is witchcraft. And I'm going like, and then in one of them, as Merlin, I dated her, and then I have 2 daughters. And I was like, okay, so I have 3 daughters in all the realms. And it was like, yeah, you're in other names, Nova, Penelope, and Phoenix. And I'm going like, what the fuck? And then I have no fucking pussy here, no fucking daughters in here, and they were fucking laughing at me. They were like, yeah, practically. And I'm going, God damn. So, I'm going like, I didn't even know what to do. Yeah, they showed me all the avatars. It was like, I have like 150 fucking avatars, and then I know all their names, and then all those fucking names are written in a notebook that I have at home. Yeah. And then when I started going through the fucking notebook, I was going like, I can't believe what's happening here. And it was like, oh yeah, you again, that's why we're here. And I'm going like, thank you. They were thanking me and all that shit, and I'm going like, wow. And all I have to do is think about them, and there I am.
Yeah, just think
But I have
about
to,
it
I,
and you
but,
there.
exactly, but I have to make sure that I'm not in base three, or in my job or in a supermarket, because it could be overwhelming and then I'm gonna fucking faint in there. Okay, so when that was in Dasher, I looked at Archibald X and I said, what are they doing to it? They said they're fixing it so when you come back, he will be the last outpost that you will go, and then from there you will go to Wally, which is the one that's paralyzed in the three-dimensional program, what you call Earth. And I'm going like, wow.
So was it?
And then they were saying, you remember like in Barbie, that's why we had you watch the movie twice. And I'm going like, wow, right. And I didn't even know I was watching Barbie. I thought I was gay. And they kept fucking laughing every time I said that shit. And I'm going like, God damn.
And you said that was Anubis and who else was there?
That
Wait.
and you know what's funny? That I saw many of you shows where you met Anubis.
Yeah.
And I said that I was actually jealous. I said like, so this motherfucker has met Anubis like 4 fucking times already, 6 times, and I have only heard about him in other star systems, which is still mind-boggling because I'm not here on Earth, but I've never seen him in person till I fucking met that motherfucker on fucking Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then before I met him, I had to pick up Shaka Zulu, Cain and Abel, in an apartment that I have in Alcyon, which is in the Palladian star system, which I kept fucking looking around because I was in disbelief. So the whole fucking trip, I was like, I can't believe this. This is not happening. And I kept fucking going like, what the fuck? And I'm going, God damn, this is the fucking strongest trip I ever had. And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but I'm saying Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
And Shaka Zulu.
And then you know what they told me? You know what they told me? Or you're gonna laugh about this. They said, you know the story of Snow White?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And the 7 Dwarfs. I said, like, isn't it funny how it's so similar to the story of Adam and Eve? And boy, boom, there goes Archibald X again on the floor when they said that. Because I was Archibald X at that time.
Wow.
The first fainting happened in my own apartment when they said that to me, that the Bible story is the Snow White story with the same apple. And I'm going like, oh my God.
Wow.
And then I fucking collapsed on top of a bunch of fucking food and fucking weed that these motherfuckers were smoking in there. And I was surprised that Shaka Zulu was high. And then Shaka Zulu, they are like, they tried to represent whatever the fuck Shaka Zulu looked like in here, but it was holographic. You could see through them. And then I was able to see through Archibald X fucking body too. And I'm going like, and then Archibald X had like a technology on his left fucking forearm, in the lower part of the forearm, that was keeping, that had a screen that was always looking at the body here in New York City, paralyzed by taking 57 grams of shroom. In case the body had to go to the bathroom, which he had to go by crawling in the beginning, and then like by relying on the walls as the fucking energies began to come back into the 3D world to go into the 2D world, which is where Wally was before.
Yeah.
Because the ego, what happens with the ego is that it doesn't work the same way anymore when it begins to get into the spiritual fucking shit.
Do it dissolve or something?
No, the programming changes and it goes interstellar, spiritual, religious, and scientific at the same time. All
Yeah.
one program.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. You can see.
They had one program, and then they were showing me the hierarchy. They said, like, okay, at the top of the magical kingdom, Merlin is the leader, is the highest fucking frequency. At the top of the spiritual is Buddha. At the top of the religious is God, and then that's the impersonal aspect, and then the personal aspect is the Jesus Christ unit. And you know what happened to him? They destroyed that shit when he was 33, so he got fucked up. And it was because he was trying to share the same information that you're trying to share down there. And then in the scientific fucking program, they showed me how it was Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla together.
Yeah.
And then the interesting thing about this is that this morning I sent some communication to another unit in Texas and to another unit that I got in Mali in Africa.
Yeah.
That President Trump, right? The one about to be president?
Yeah.
Right. His uncle, way before Trump, when Trump was a little kid, his father's brother was responsible for the cleaning of the debris of the offices that Nikola Tesla had wherever the fuck he lived.
What?
He cleaned because the Nikola Tesla offices were destroyed by the Thomas Edison people.
Yeah.
In the story. That's how they stole all the fucking information that Tesla was going to have for free. The internet was going to be free. Light was going to be free, so we didn't have to pay for light and shit like that. But what happened is that the communist units came on, and they began to sabotage everything, and that's why we pay for light, that's why we pay for internet and all that fucking shit in here, because it was greed. They were greedy units.
Yeah. So, was it a time you think that you could see like the lifetimes of like many different people that lived?
Yeah, it was. I was able to go into everybody, but there was a lot of fucking distractions going on. There was a lot of fucking people. I saw Gandhi, and I wanted to go to Hitler, but they were telling me, you already got that. And I said, how about Gandhi? I said, like, it's not worthy. And I'm going, what do you mean it's not worthy? He said, like, no, Hitler did more than Gandhi, believe it or not. And I was like, I knew that. And I said, and they were like, no, you didn't. But the body knows that. And I'm going, right, I'm sorry. And he was like, it's okay, you can talk any way you want. And I'm going like, God damn, the fuck? And you know how they fucking everything up in here with the Mandela effect also?
Yeah.
They were fucking explaining me how that shit is done. Everything is done by language. That's why I'm trying to show you, Unix, what language really is. Because it's with the language that they fuck everything up in here. The words. The words cast a spell. The spell is magical, spiritual, religious, and scientific at the same time. At the top of the hierarchy, with no persons in there. No personality. Just titles. So what was Albert Einstein? He was like, I don't know what the fuck he was, a philosopher or a scientist, right? Scientist is before the person. You see?
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla was another one. He was like a fucking scientist or something like that, or an engineer. So that's the first thing that goes before the name comes in.
I see that. Hey, so Wally, like, what was it like when you were paralyzed? Like, at any time, did you have any type of fear?
Fear?
Yeah.
Of course I have fear. I mean, you know, the funny thing is that I kept asking, am I dead? I said, you're already fucking dead already. Didn't the DXN show you that shit? And I'm going like, yeah, damn, and they would take me back to the memory, and I'm going to, they took me all the way back to my first shroom memory, where I thought I was dead like for a week after I started coming down the trip.
Yeah.
And I was never the same. I almost lost my job because I forgot that I had to work here on Earth. So I took a vacation without telling my people I worked that shit. And then they wrote me down, and then they gave me a final warning: you can't do this again. And you know, I'm going like, you didn't call, we didn't know where you were. And you know, I showed up, I was quiet as a ghost. They told me, I remember that. Yeah. And then they noticed that I was quiet all the day. I was quiet for like 3 days at work, and they said, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it was that I was receiving all the information, and I was looking at what apparently was a dream the body was having, and I was having a hard time with that fucking shit. Yeah. So they took me back to that fucking moment, and I'm going like, wow, so we're already dead, and then the dream is that we're alive, and then those two motherfuckers are together. They show a frequency, and then they were showing me what a frequency is.
It's crazy, Wally, because you know I've been like I've had that experience to where it was like this wasn't even like real life. It was like life had played out already, and this was just a reaction
by itself.
By itself.
Exactly, and you know what's funny? They showed me when they went to the moon. They showed me all the rockets that they sent all over space, and they were telling me, you know, that's happening by itself, right? And I'm going like, wow, that's fucking unbelievable, man. Yeah. It was like, well, you know, it's what's happening for real, and it's also unreal at the same time. But he was telling me, but you guys when you get down there to the human units, they're making everything real. So they really believe that they went to the moon. They really believe that they conquered, they split the atom. They really believe all that fucking shit. And nothing of that shit was done by anybody. It's just what happened.
Yeah,
and
it's
I was
just what
like,
happened.
fuck, man.
So do you?
Jesus. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? He said, well, you, nothing, because there's no you. There has never been. But the body, it's for the body to play with.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, fuck. So, oh my God.
Wait, it's something else that you was talking about consciousness, because like, you know, sometimes
okay. There is no consciousness. What there is perception. Perception is what they misunderstanding here as consciousness. And then what happens is that it gets upgraded when it is by itself, which is impersonal level. But you got to be careful when you get to the impersonal aspect of perception, because that's still an idea that the energy can fucking transform into.
Yeah.
And then the energy to get in there will look for other avatars, which is why he found Archibald X, why he found Dasher, why he found Meredith, why he found Link, why he found Laura, why he found Bartholomew. So I have like 150 avatars, and then I constantly have to be remembering that nobody's doing anything in here. This is just what's happening. That's what they were telling me. It's very easy, man. You are nowhere, anywhere there is aware. Okay?
It's nice to.
They were telling me you are in superposition.
It's nice to think, though. It's nice to think. It's. I think it's nice to think and feel that what you is doing is something. I think.
No, but the problem is that you forget about it, and then you start taking it serious, and then you fuck everything up. So you constantly have to get out of that frequency and go to something higher that will show you, motherfucker, there is no you anywhere here.
Yeah, but don't you you don't think every role that's being played like gotta be played, like it's gonna be played regardless?
No, what happens is that okay, the few users that are using the bodies here are ID. Let me give you an example. Elon Musk is doing a lot for this world in the story.
Yeah.
You see? But he believes he's Elon Musk. That's the problem. So by knowing this unit supersedes Elon Musk in what's really taking place in here, which is real and unreal activity happening at the same time. Elon Musk is making everything real. That's why everything is taking so long, because it goes through a space-time program here. If you're making things real, they gotta go through a space-time continuum here. And then that's not the real clock. The real clock is different. Right now, I don't know if is it daytime in California or is it nighttime?
It's nighttime.
Okay, so right now is summertime in California. That's the time.
Summer.
And it's lunar, the moon, summertime. When the sun comes out, it's solar, summertime, till the fall or autumn gets in there, then winter gets in there, there's the same thing. And then if it rains, if it's cold, if it's hot, it's part of that time too. And that's the real clock. They call it the equinox here.
The equinox. The equinox.
Yeah, the equinox.
Equinox.
That's the real clock, for real. And then the other clock, the chronological clock, is the one that creates time in here. And what happens is that it puts everything in one line. When there are no lines anywhere. You know who's getting to this information now? Terrence Howard. But look what they're doing to him. They think he's crazy.
Yeah.
So they think he's crazy. If they think he's crazy and then he believes that, then guess what? He goes crazy at personal levels in here, which is already happening to him. And then everybody else, all these scientists that think they're super smart in here, Neil deGrasse Tyson and all these people, they're just crazy. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they owning the information, which is even worse.
Yeah. So, dang, man, it wasn't like how was you even able to come back after 57 grams with the information?
Oh well, I was very concerned by Monday, by today, because I have to come to work in the store. You know me, the body has a job and it works from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, and I was concerned, and they told me that the unit is going to be at 90% capacity of motion. The only problems are going to be in the feet of the unit but the pinky and the toes of the units are going to keep the equilibrium of the unit. Walk slower than you walk normally, and focus on sitting the unit down. The second you arrive at any place that there is a bench or a seat of seated down, and then focus again on the pinky and the thumb, and that's how. And then they told me that by tomorrow, when summertime comes in, by the second the sun starts coming in here, that it's gonna be like Superman. When Superman sees the sun, that he gets stronger. Yeah. And it was, and then you're gonna have to deal with the unit going full on at 100%. So that's gonna be a problem. Just stay quiet. And I was like, oh my god. Because I'm going like worse energy than this one, and they were saying, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of energy going into that unit. It's gonna come from the sun, and then forget it. At night, it's gonna come from the moon, and then the moon is the one recording. So all you gotta do is think about the moon, and then ask for anything, and then the moon is gonna project it into the unit, close the unit's eyes, and then the unit's gonna see the story clearly.
So wait, what the hell is the moon recording?
The Akashic records. It's what creates them.
Was you able to tap into the Akashic records at any time?
I have the Anunnaki Akashic records. Forget about Wally's. Forget about the humanity's Akashic record. I have the Anunnakis, which are the ones that created the human Akashic records. I have all the Akashic records that there are of anything. What happens is that there's so much that I don't know what to look for. And it's funny because when I go home, it's like I'm out of ideas. I said, I've already been in the Vatican. I've already been in all the freaking pyramids of Egypt. I've been in Peru. I've been in the Muru. I've been in Saturn. I've been in Neptune. I've been in space. I've been with the cats. I've been with this aliens. This one. Like, what the hell do I want? And they go like, well, how about breakfast? And I was like, great idea. And then I go eat breakfast or something. But they're in love with simple stuff.
No, it was something that you were saying the other day about the Vatican and going up underneath there where all the books and stuff was.
Oh yeah, in the library of the Vatican is what was in the library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
In Egypt.
I thought all that got destroyed.
They're in the Vatican now. That's the lie.
Okay, yeah.
And then if you believe that, then you make that lie real. That's how they manipulate you. You see?
But that ain't that what we do regardless of anything that we decide to believe in?
Yeah, everything. Meaning that if you want to see a green elephant, you have to see it for real. If you're by yourself, you will see the green elephant immediately. But if you're around your wife or your daughters and you tell them, hey, I'm going to see a green, yeah, good luck. All you gotta do is ignore it, go by yourself, and you will see everything will manifest immediately. What happens is that everybody has to work together for things to manifest themselves faster in here. But not everybody's at the same fucking level of energy.
What if they are? What if they just using that energy to manifest something else?
They are, but they are unconscious of it.
Yeah.
We are conscious.
Oh, yeah, I get that. I get that 100%. I get that. So they just following the program.
In order for you and I to communicate telepathically, I can communicate with your unit telepathically, but your unit cannot respond to my unit. So I have to go there and spy on you. And then what happens is that I don't want to do that. I said I'd rather wait till like 5 or 6 of us can do this, so it becomes faster. So if it's like, let's say that Black Wolf and you are at the same frequency, and then you take my information and you're open to it, so the 3 of us can talk. But the 3 of us have to be at the same frequency.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen slower. And then from 3 of us, it goes to 6 of us, it's even faster. And then if it goes to 9 or 12 or 20, it's even faster.
Yeah, and it kind of keeps
And
going.
then what happens is that we're not even in 1%. Everybody out there where you think you go outside is against this information. We're talking about 99.9%. So you're going into enemy territory. The second you go to work or you go to the supermarket, you are around enemies. And then they are better than friends, believe me. Because the friends will kill you here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because everything is backwards.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, that's
and then the friend units turn into super friend units. You know who's a super friend? Your wife, your daughter, your son. Those are super friends. And that's how everything operates. But it's from here, from this unit. I don't know what the hell your unit has reinforced over there. But it's every unit has a different story.
Yeah. That's wild. So he said, I know it's off topic, but bro, I remember about the jester. He was on DMT, experienced the same trip for real, bro. Crazy, yeah. That's wild.
It's ridiculous, man.
No, it is.
And then you want to do things in here, and you gotta be careful because you gotta drop the personal, go to the impersonal, and when you go to the impersonal, you cannot operate from the personal. The personal is the energy that is inside your unit, believing that it's Booker, that he has 7 kids, that he has a wife. So you gotta go to the body. The body doesn't know that. So the body is the other person. The body is impersonal. He doesn't know anything. He just automatically does what it has to do.
Yeah.
Which is, a provide fatherly activity and, be the father of the family in the story and blah, 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 blah. And then that has no person in there. The person is a lie. It's a mask.
It's a mask.
The impersonal is another mask that operates even higher,
it's Wally.
faster, and everything.
Yeah, this Wally took the 57 grams of mushrooms.
You better not be talking to like a broadcast or something because this is crazy.
Nah, we is talking to a broadcast. We're live on YouTube. I couldn't, every time I tried to record it, like the last conversation we had, and remember you was like, don't record this. And I recorded it anyway, and then I don't know,
okay,
it didn't work.
Everything is being recorded right now as you speak by the moon. And then people already know that here, but the ones that know that are in a group called the Illuminati. That is the top of the hierarchy here. That's the top of the hierarchy at 2-dimensional levels in here. It means that they think they know this information. We're talking about secret societies. We're talking about Freemasonry.
So you don't think
33 degrees. The president can even reach 33 degrees. The president is like in 25 degrees.
You don't think you don't think they know the information? They got like a certain key of it.
What happens is that they send in tier 1 units to intercept all the time. Tier 1. You have to look at that, what that is in Google. Google is an extension of their bodies in here.
Yeah, of the mind.
That's what Google is.
I think that's what everything is.
And then it has to be up that extension of the body. Only the body knows how to operate that.
Yeah.
Not the mechanism that is inside. The body is the machine. And then the machine is together with its environment. So the sky, the oceans, the cars, the buildings, everything is the body.
Somebody's
it's an appearance.
So what you seen about the moon, right? Who was showing you the information about the moon when you was there?
Why do you think they are so desperate to go to the moon all the time? Why do you think countries fight to go to the moon? It's because of this. And then they protect the information from tier 1 units.
Can't they get there though?
And then they have the tier 2 units ready to be deployed anytime the tier 1 information is compromised. And then the tier 2 units are all military forces in the world, including the aliens. The technology that the aliens have left in here for us to deal with, which we're trying to figure out. We're never going to figure it out.
I thought we was the aliens.
We are the aliens, but we don't know that. We're not supposed to. The bodies do.
Oh wow! Oh, I can understand. So say if the body knows, right? So the mind can put on this illusion of something else, though.
No, when the body knows, it changes the mind program and it begins to operate it at extraterrestrial levels in here, which is the only system that could process the information properly, which is literally the natural way of the body here. What is the body always after here in the story? Food, shelter, and moving.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and feeling good, and feeling love, and feeling pleasant,
Exactly. No, 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 no.
like the
Forget
best
love. That's
feelings.
the biggest fucking lie.
What's up,
That's a
Rob?
lie. Unconditional love is something else.
And Wally, did you? Somebody said, did you see anything about the pyramids?
Yeah, the pyramids. The pyramids is a necropolis. The necropolis is a cemetery. Also, is the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is a fucking tomb. It's a fucking cemetery. Also, what happens there is that in the pyramids of Egypt, the center pyramid is connected to Anshar. Anshar is Saturn, but they is known in here as Saturn. But in reality, his name is Anshar. And then Anshar has a civilization of alien called the Anshars. They're in the center of the planet, in the core, and at the same time, they are in Saturn. And then everybody had access to this, but they're too busy chasing money, sex, and status in here.
And
Which is
status.
how the propaganda works in here. And remember, I told you there is constant commercials coming in, and then the units are being dressed by these commercials, and they are used as mannequins in here.
Hey, I can see that too clearly. Like everything is these commercials, and it's telling you be like this, eat this.
Yeah,
You gotta
exactly,
wear
exactly.
this. You can't wear that. Whoa.
And then that is the
Whoa.
infinite energy breaking itself down into finite forms in here, so it can survive from lifetime to lifetimes in here. And
Yeah.
then that's happening in the magical kingdom, it's happening in the spiritual kingdom, it's happening in the scientific kingdom, and in the religious kingdom also. But every kingdom has the story in a different form in order for the bodies to choose where to play with.
Yeah. So for us to play with. So why would it even matter
But
what
the
story
body
you
to play with.
what okay,
But
yeah,
the
so for the body to
not
play
for you
with.
to play.
So yeah, for the body to play with, but after like so would it even matter like it seems like it doesn't matter what part is being played because the play was already there. You're just acting.
Exactly. What does that even mean? That means that nothing in here has any purpose, any value, any significance, and that is unrecognizable freedom.
That is
No,
crazy.
this freedom cannot be recognized by anyone because it's unrecognizable.
Yeah.
And then everything is run by language. In every different language, it's one language. And then after that language comes mathematics, which is another language, together with this language already. Letters and numbers, everything is symbolic. And then everything symbolic goes into an algorithm so computers can run it. And then the computers are literally the bodies and the environment interacting as one unit.
Yeah.
This is overwhelming information, man.
Nah, it is. It is. But it's like you said, a lot of people gonna hear it. Some gonna understand it, some not. You feel me? And that's just
No,
how it is.
some are gonna listen to the information, and something else is gonna hear it. What hears the information is the body.
Basically, he said.
What listens to the information, which is a contraction of energy, is the mechanism inside. And then the mechanism inside is based on greed and wanting more all the time.
Wally.
And that's how it misses. That's how it misses everything.
Yeah, y'all gotta ask questions. Tim basically said. So basically, he's saying we don't exist.
We never have. It's even worse.
Booka. Wait, see, but that. How can you even explain that? How could you even make sense out of the fact?
It doesn't need to be explained. The second the explanation comes in, it needs an owner.
Huh?
You see? The second the explanation comes in, explanatory activity comes in, it's gonna need an agent. Because the information comes at a level of an agency or an organization. Then the organization is gonna need an organism to represent the here. And then the agency is going to need an agent to represent the here, which is the same thing.
My God. Oh, wow. That, if you don't get that.
The agency is the impersonal part of the story, and then the agent is the personal part of the story.
Yeah.
The agent is going to operate in here as the smartest person in the planet. But when that gets to the mental program wants more. So it's
more and more.
crazy in here. Exactly.
Yeah,
In
give me
other
more.
words, the mistake everybody's making over here is that they think they're missing something, and there's nothing missing. Everything's already here.
Okay, so Rob said, what do you think all the geometry we see on trips are?
That's sacred geometry. That's supposed to be, that's communications that only the bodies can decipher properly. Again, the body is the agency. But when it gets an agent, how are you going to handle this information here if the agent in here is operating at two-dimensional levels all the time? So you got to go to the body. Once you go to the body, then something else is navigating the body. What navigates the body is the star systems in here. That's why you have a sign. That's why your sign is what is it? Libra? You're Libra, right?
Nah, I'm Aquarius.
Oh, so you're Aquarius. So your star is Alpha Aquarius, and then you have to connect to that star, which is the sun. And then from that star, it comes to this sun in here. Then from the sun gets to nature. It goes into the world of fauna and flora, animal kingdom and plant kingdom. And then from the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom, it comes into the units in here.
Yeah.
And then
Wait.
it travels backwards and forward.
Wow.
And then you create oceans, you create the lakes, you create submarines, you create ships, you create airplanes, you create cars, you create other people in here to forget this information.
I don't think we ever forgot the information. I think we just clothed
No,
it
no,
in
that's
something
that's
else.
the bodies. The bodies,
Yeah.
like I said, the bodies never forget, and they are incapable of lying here.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Incapable.
Explain that.
While lies is the mechanism inside, and it's because he has reinforced the belief of other units in here that are operating only at 2D levels, not even 3D. They don't even know that 3D is to go 3D. They think they're 3D.
Yeah.
You're not 3D. You are what's inside the body, so you're 2D, and then you are connected to 1D. And then when you're connected to 1D, then it's the zero dimension, which is when the unit dissolves into dust, and then from dust it becomes invisible, and it begins to operate here from invisible dynamism or dynamic invisibility. And this is how all the information gets traveled from one side to another side, because it goes into negatives and positives.
So did you ever get a chance to see God on this journey?
When I went to the religious parts of the systems, when I went to the religious system, yeah, I saw it. Then I saw God. Then I saw God is the impersonal aspect of this information. Then the personal aspect is Jesus Christ, and then he told all this information. And then Enoch was the only one that freaking deciphered this properly. And then you know what happened to him. And then in the Gospel of Thomas, all this information is there. And then I was like, oh my goodness. And what happens is that in the religious system and the scientific system have been sabotaged beyond 50%. So 50% of the information is properly processed, and 50% is improperly processed.
Yeah.
Then you got to go higher. Then when you go to the spiritual world system, then you realize that it's like 75% of the information is right, and then 25 is wrong. It's bullshit. And then all those that are wrong are all these gurus that you see that they try to teach people things in here, like Sadhguru,
So
Osho, whoever the hell is out there. Even Buddha was fucked up.
yeah.
Because
so
they believe he was Buddha.
so if this is not happening and this is not real, what are we supposed to be doing? Like, what are we supposed to be doing?
There is no you, remember.
What is the body supposed to be doing? The
They're
body,
unthinkable.
huh?
They're unthinkable. They're inconceivable. That is the natural way of the body. The bodies operate at psychic levels in here. Its mechanism only psychologically.
Yeah.
It's a big difference in the frequencies, in the energy.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a frequency that decides between mortality and immortality. But just even forget about that. You don't even you cannot get in there because the mechanism is mortal.
Dalai Lama, huh? He said, man, terrible like the Pope and the Dalai Lama. What they do?
All of these historical records that you have over here, are contaminated because they ran by adult units. The word adult, again, I'm mentioning language. It has to be understood what that means for real in the story. The word adult means contaminated.
Yeah.
And then unadulterated means clean, pure. So the units have to become unadulterated here in order to operate at this level. So they go back into the child units, in the kids, and then the unit is operating at child wandering levels in here.
And that's crazy because it's like we start teaching them and putting all the bull inside them.
The second you see a teaching unit, everything that they're teaching is wrong. So all you gotta do is the opposite. It's very simple. All you gotta do is the opposite of what everybody else does in here. What is everybody else doing in here? Believing that there are people doing things. So all you gotta do is consider the possibility that there is nobody here doing anything. And then what happens is that the heart of the unit begins to catch the information and not the mind. And then when from the heart, it goes to the mind and it switches the whole program to go into higher levels of intelligence in here that are operating by themselves without personal or impersonal agendas. And then what happens is that there's always an arbitrator that is going to make the right decision. The arbitrator is the heart, or is the battery.
Was it any time that you seen the highest point?
There is no highest. The highest point is the lowest point. It's the same point.
Somebody said, "You're not real and neither am I. This is a dream. We're all fragmentations of the dreamer's identity."
You have to tell them that it's worse than that. That you have never been anything here.
From nothing.
That is the highest level of the information. Once you get there, what happens is that everything begins to collapse. And then there is no more fighting. There's no more resistance. There's no more discomfort. And then the body begins to feel good all the time.
Hey, okay, somebody said, I gotta say this. He said, okay, let's say everything that you're saying is true. Now what? How do we use it?
That's the problem right there. There is no you. How are you going to use it? How can this be used? Again, how can this be used? If the mechanism doesn't work, what could possibly use it then?
The you does not exist?
No, the machine.
The machine. He said, okay, everything was created from nothing. We are not real. What do I do with that?
Let the body make process the information. That's it. All you gotta do is remove the character out of the story because it's nothing but characteristical activity happening by itself. Body has been infested with personal activity that goes even lower into a person, which is actually a mask.
Yeah.
This is already everywhere. The information is everywhere.
So now, no, I'm gonna tell you what you do. Go roll something up and fire it up. And see what time you gotta be at work tomorrow. No, I'm saying you gotta, and say, man, look, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water.
Exactly, it's the same thing. What that means is that breakfast, lunch, and dinner are the top priorities in here. Shelter, the second priority. Grooming the units, the third priority. So the units don't go fucking crazy in here, stinking and making the other units concerned all the time. So the units, plus, the units will begin to rot if they don't shower once or twice a day.
He said the point of the Super Bowl is the regular season. He said the point of the Super Bowl is the regular season. Damn, that's a good one.
Exactly. Well, let's say that this is the Super Bowl and the regular season is the life that you're living. And then what happens is that the Super Bowl could come immediately, it could come later. It depends if you believe in time or you don't believe in time. I would recommend drop both because there's no you in here, so who could believe or not believe?
The preseason gonna predict who gonna win.
It's very simple. And then you gotta
The
be
Super
careful with
Bowl.
sports too, because you gotta be careful with the sports, because the sports are here to create more separation, to create competition, to create comparing, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like everything does that. You know, I got more money than you. I got more bitches than you. I
Exactly.
got
You
more
know,
cars
it's
than you.
hilarious. It's hilarious
I got
because
more
when I was
goats than
there,
you. It started from I got more goats than you. I got 2 more cows more than what you got. I got
exactly.
way more
And then
chickens than him.
and then what? One of the most interesting parts of the trip was every time they kept showing me the richest person in the world here, which is either Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. I don't know, one of the two, or Bill Gates. And they were showing me, remember, everything is backwards, so they are really in damnation. Those units are never going to leave this place. They're going to keep living from lifetime to lifetime. Then if they were rich in the lifetime, they're going to be poor in the other one. Then they're going to be rich. And then in one of those lifetimes, something is finally going to understand the information.
What if everything living is the same energy playing everything that's just living? Like, you know?
Nothing is living here.
Like,
Nothing. Nothing is living, but aliveness is happening. And aliveness is death. We are already dead. Whatever you're looking at right now is death looking at life happening. Everything's together.
okay, no, what's up with it, Regal Survivor? No, remember the one dude that was in the basement of the basement of the basement, Wally?
Yeah.
See,
That's called a loop.
yeah, that's called a loop. But I'm just saying, like, it's some people that you just never knew even existed. That's the part that gets me too. It's like, you know, like they'll be known.
That's the most disturbing aspect of the information, because when it happened to me, I was like, when it happened to me here, apparently, I was like, so I thought I was real, and I have never been real. And it was like, it's worse than that. And it was like, how? And then they were like, you have never been anywhere.
There's no you. Khan said
There
there's
has
no you
never
here.
been a you. There has never
Anything
been
you
a
was,
you
but
anywhere.
using the perceived information to carry out your projection of the movie you're creating while you're in.
The point
While
of the
you in.
story here, the point of the story here is the preservation of the units. So the units go through centuries looking like they're 30 years old, 40 years old, 70 years old, and you know, this is overwhelming. People think that they cannot. The people think that 100 years you're supposed to look a certain way to be 100. No,
You can see it.
And still be 100.
It's crazy because if you really pay attention, you can see the mirror effect of reality that is playing to where it's like we putting this thing over whatever it is. It's like it's us doing it and creating it and putting this thing over it. And you can put what you want over yours. Like you can paint your picture how you want to. It's like here, it's like it's a picture of an elephant, like you said, a blue elephant, and then you get everybody a paint and colors, and you go, here, paint the type of elephant you want to paint, but it's still an elephant.
Yeah, but most of them are gonna paint it brown or gray. That's the problem.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's
But
like the same. It's like the same thing with 1 plus 1 or 4 plus 5. 1 plus 1 equals 2. No. 4 plus 1 equals 5. No. 4 plus 1 equals whatever the hell you want it to equal, and 1 plus 1 is the same story.
do it and check back. That's the real test, huh? Like, oh, what's up with it, Carter Films? But no, I don't know, Wally. You never.
Listen, listen, the message is very simple. Whoever doesn't like this information, they can make it unreal. That's it.
That's into. Nah, I think everybody understand it. You
if
know,
everybody understands it, we will go telepathic.
it's always like far fetched because you know even after you get the information, you still got to go back to your daily routine.
Listen. Fiction is fact. Fact is fiction.
But Wally, I'm just saying, once you get the information and you understand it and you grasp it and you apply it, you still got to put your ski mask on
You have to immediately
and go
kill
back to
the
life.
understander. So understanding happens by itself.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
It's very,
But we gon' we,
everything is very simple.
I think
That's the problem.
we gonna perceive that we're doing it. But I said this like many a times. It's like the blocks is already there. Everything didn't ever been built with
Well,
these blocks.
what happens is that when you go to
You just
sleep,
started.
this is when the information resets itself into, and it goes back to the basement again. And then from the basement, it starts going up again. Hey, good morning, happy Monday, happy Tuesday, whatever.
Yeah,
There's no time.
yeah.
You know, can you prove to me that Tuesday is solid?
That what?
The day Tuesday. Can you prove to me that the day Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday is solid?
Nah.
Can you prove it to me? Okay, so that means what the hell are we doing here? Can you prove to me that a month is solid?
Dang.
Can you prove to me that a year is solid?
I never even tripped off of that.
Okay, so that's how
I never
simple it
even
is. Can you
tripped off
prove
of that.
to me? Can you prove to me that a decade, 10 years, are solid? You see, this is how everybody should feel. Stupid, because once you accept that stupidity, that's when the unit goes into the cellars. Immediately.
Hey, everything was created from nothing. That was a good one though, right there. The way he put it right there was kind of dope.
Imagine people here believing that they have lived 80 years, 75 years, 100 years. Can you prove to me that a century is solid? Can you prove to me that history is actually solid? No, it's documented in telephones, it's documented in television, it's documented in books, and that's what history really is, a bunch of letters and numbers playing the shit out of us here.
No, Chelino said, can Wally prove anything?
He thought he could until he freaking died. Something else took over. And what took over was a life force of energy that cannot be put into words. But there is an audience that is always looking for explanation, and I'm trying to use the best I can use language to explain to them how simple everything is.
He said, yeah, until Wally died. Wally was done.
Exactly. You know, Wally died very young in the story, and then he died again, and he died again, and I was like, what the hell is all this? So if this is death, what the hell is life? You know, death is real, life is the illusion.
Life's a trip, yeah, life's the, so what in life is actually even creating the illusion?
Nothing, and that's the disturbing aspect of the story.
Consciousness not doing it?
Nothing is everything at the same time.
Yeah, I can't fight that one.
This is inconceivable information. It cannot be conceived, and it's unimpeachable. It can't be disputed.
Yeah, I can't fight that one.
Once it hits the heart of the unit, the mental program goes into a slippery slope.
Do you think you're gonna ever take 57 grams again?
No, I'm not gonna think about it. I can't do that because something is showing the unit in here how to tap into there are 3 areas in the brain of the unit. That's where the psychedelic receptors and the psychoactive receptors, which will cover the cannabis activity, the activity of marijuana here, or plants, which are they're plants, but they don't operate as effective as the other plants, which are the psychedelic. They're showing me how to activate these areas of the brain, of the cerebral cortex of the unit, in order to release the energies so I don't have to take psychedelics anymore in here, or the body
Yeah,
doesn't have to take psychedelics.
exactly,
And
exactly.
then and then you're gonna use what you're gonna use to do that is called topomancy.
Oh,
Anytime the word mancy is anywhere, that means magic. Topomancy, this is already in books. Heliomancy is magic, is solar magic from the sun. Lunarmancy from the moon. Necromancy from the death, and that's how everything
exactly.
works. Everything here works in
What's
magic,
the
and then
picture?
from magic it jumps into spiritual, from spiritual into religious, from religious into scientific, and back and forth. It goes like that. Whatever
Yeah,
your unit is in love with.
that's basically what he's saying. He's saying, like, the thing is to create your own, because that's what everybody doing regardless. Is creating their own. Can be experienced, not
Anybody that
known.
asks what creates everything, there's nothing creating anything, but creating is happening by itself.
Yeah,
So
that's
creating happens by itself, but there's nobody creating anything.
anything.
But it's happening by itself, and that's disturbing information, especially if you keep taking 5 grams of sugar. You're not gonna get in there.
He
You're
said,
just gonna see a
he
little
said
bit.
it,
You're just gonna see a little bit of it,
creation.
but you're not gonna see a long show like that. So
Create.
I mean,
Look, you like
I was in an IMAX theater where I couldn't miss anything.
Wally. That is deep though. Creation is happening by itself. This is what it do. This is how it grows.
Exactly.
This is
The
exact.
second
This
you
is just
per-
what
the,
it
the
does.
second you the second you personalize creation, then you're gonna need a god, a wizard, or a spiritual guru, or the highest scientific mind that there could be, which is Nicholas Tesla and Albert Einstein, which are already
That's why I've
dead.
been
So you're gonna have to communicate to them
sucks.
via teleportation and via telepathy.
Yeah, man.
Two aspects of the unit that are natural parts of the unit. The unit operate naturally that way, but they have been sabotaged by misinterpretation of information and misprocess of the information.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the information. Like that's why when a lot like when you hearing it and your mind don't know how to grasp information to the point of understanding that everything is information. Everything is always giving you information.
Yeah, exactly. Because what happens is
Everything.
that what happens is that people believe that they are speaking a language or they're speaking. They're not. Information means something is forming inside something else.
I would argue to create.
That's what information means.
And native is better. Yeah, narrative.
You get it?
Is better. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
And then the word sin means missing the mark.
Dang, Wally, we've been on for an hour. My bad. I'm trying to read the comments as people is commenting because somebody said they would argue I create a world and narrative of love is better. Ain't no way I missed
It's okay.
an hour
Look.
of the
Anybody,
Wally
look.
interview.
Anybody that wants to believe in God, there's no problem with that. The only problem is in the story. You see, if you believe in God, then God is somewhere else, and you are somewhere else. You are one thing, and God is another one. That's the little dilemma there. So God, and then you have to choose which one you want to be. That's how simple it is.
So, hold on. So it's like almost like you putting the characters in place in order. It don't matter how you put them in place or what name you put on the characters that you putting in the place of your life. They're all still playing the same. They playing the same role. Whether you call it you follow a god or you follow a king or you follow a president, a mom, a dad. It's like.
Yeah, but what happens is that the personal aspect of the unit, the personality becomes a person. The person in the story is the only thing that makes things real here. Only real. And then whatever they make unreal, they make it real by not believing in it.
Oh, damn. When you, as soon as you don't believe, then it don't exist.
Then it becomes real. It's something that can be believed. So that it doesn't go to the heart of the unit, it goes straight to the mind, and then the mind is already running by itself by the opinions of the other units. So you're fighting against 99.9% of energy, and you only 1% here. Yeah. So in order for you to go over them, you have to isolate your unit by itself, and then from that angle, you begin to change everything, but without telling the others. And then automatically it's going to change in accordance to whatever they reinforce here. Unfortunately, time and space that runs in linear fashion, not all the freaking angles.
Oh, okay, yeah. What's up? I didn't do it.
Yep. I need $15.
On my dresser. On my dresser.
I want some McDonald's.
Hell no. I'm live right now. You hear the echo?
You don't hear me?
Yeah.
You're too close.
Whatever. On my dresser though.
You have a dresser? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it ain't mine. I got a dresser, but it ain't mine. It's my units.
So is that how you put in character? You wear makeup.
Oh man.
Like I said again, look, everything is very simple in the game. But you can only do one thing at a time. So if you want to be Booker, you can't be God. If you want to be Booker, you can't be a wizard. If you want to be Booker, you can't be the greatest scientist there is. You see?
I gotta play all of them at one time, Wally. That's just how it goes.
No.
I don't play them. I let the body.
At character mode, you can only be one.
No, I let the body play the roles. I just sit back and I watch. I just sit back and watch.
But what makes the decision is the heart, it's not the mind. This is a feeling.
What?
And then from the feeling goes into a visual.
So what made the decision was the heart.
It's the heart.
I can dig that. I can dig that.
Whatever remember all this information that I'm apparently receiving in here was not Wally. It was the heart of the body, and then the heart of the body, when he received all the information, began to reveal what Wally really was in here. And when he showed me, do you really want to see what Wally is? I was like, yeah, I thought it was me. And he was like, no, grab a piece of paper and grab a pencil. And then I did, and when I grabbed the pencil, he told me W, write W, write A, write L, write Y. That's Wally.
You know, it's funny. I was watching the movie Wally last night. Wally.
And that hurt.
Wally is something else, man. I said 57 grams. I don't even know how you got that down.
Oh, man. It was a nightmare, man. My entire apartment was a jumbotron.
Huh?
My entire apartment was doing the functions of a jumbotron. A big screen.
Yeah.
On the ceiling, a big screen in the walls, a big screen in the ceiling. I was literally blind. I couldn't see the way the apartment looked. I was seeing the way the other apartments looked and the other realms. Good night, guys. Have a good night, guys. Yeah. See, I gotta play the game here, too.
Yeah, you gotta play the game, too. Look, I'm up there talking about me having to play the game. You gotta play the game, too.
That's how I protect the reality.
It's the body. And then it's not you playing the game, it's the body playing the game.
No, it's what happens. It's even worse.
It's just what happens.
Exactly. And then after that is what the body appears to be doing. And then after that is what you think you're doing.
That's what Ben Exile said a long time ago. It's the happening. It's the happening.
It's an unhappening.
It's like, dang.
It's an unhappening happening.
And y'all got any questions for Wally? Oh, Big Chill said why he in the Bahamas. Yeah. Oh, they try to say you in the
Well, that
Bahamas.
will be tell be chill that that is the dream. And if you believe it, that's the problem in there with your unit. There's nothing wrong with
It's
it.
the unit.
But
They said, "Where's the
but you're
unit
not
at?"
there.
They said,
He has
"Where's?"
to see beyond that.
They said, "Where's the unit at?"
Where is the what?
The unit.
The unit is the one that is in the Bahamas pretending that it's you. If he doesn't see through that, that's okay because
Okay,
you're
so
gonna keep coming over here and going to the Bahamas a lot in other lifetimes.
in other lifetimes, huh? Until you are,
Exactly.
you gonna
With
keep
different-
thinking
with
about
different
going until you
bodies,
finally
with
get
different
there.
bodies, continuing to suffer, choosing unhappiness, appearing as happiness, rather than the fact that you have never been here doing anything. So you go to
Well,
be
Rob said-
mortality like a
Wally, Rob said, did he feel like he time traveled at all?
time traveling is the easiest thing there is. Look, when you think about what you did yesterday, guess what that is?
Time travel.
Exactly. What you imagine that you could do tomorrow, guess what that is?
Time traveling.
Exactly. It's right in front of your nose. But if you want to believe what time travel has been defined by others in here, good Lord, that's what you want to reinforce, go ahead. B to D forever here. And never know what really happens. That is eternal damnation.
I think people want to like. No, I'm talking about like when you time traveling, like you go to the past, and you. Oh well, you seen Michael Jackson. You seen Shaka Zulu. So you did. Was that time traveling right there when you seen Shaka Zulu and you seen Adam and Cain and Abel?
Before I ingested the 57 grams, the day before I began to receive insights about Shaka Zulu, about Cain and Abel. And you know, I was trying to ignore it, but it began to become too much. It begins to ruminate. And then I was like, okay, so what's going on with these three names in here? Well, they're going to be the ones that are going to guide you to the other guys, you know, to your other units. And so like, I thought I already knew the way. And he was like, you already know, the body already, the energy inside the body already knows where it's going. But the problem is that the unit is not used to the 57 grams that it's about to ingest. So it's going to be incapacitated before an hour strikes after the trip. And I'm going like, okay, so I'm gonna meet Shaka Zulu first and Cain and Abel, and if I choose not to believe this, I'm gonna have a hard time.
So,
right?
but that's
And they
what I'm
were like,
saying.
all right.
Did it feel like time traveling, like Rob said, or did it
You
feel?
see, it begins to feel like you're traveling through time. But what happens is that once you get out of time, then you're in timeless realms, and then time doesn't make any sense. And
Yeah,
then when they started showing me what time really wasn't here, and that it was breaking down into two categories: chronological time and natural time. Natural time is the spring, the summer, the fall, and the winter during the moon and during the sun. And then if it rains, if it's hot, if it's snowing, that's part of the time, for real. Then the second time, and that's happening without time, for real. It's timeless, natural activity. Then everything else goes into chronological order. Then you have to follow what the clocks, the calendars, and any computer device in here that can create dates. That's their authority over you here in the story, and then you're not supposed to know. Then you're following that authority. Then you messed up.
So
and then you rely on reports.
Did the whole experience like kind of feel like it had like an AI, like a technology like feel, or more of like a organism, like a organism?
Yeah. And then when I questioned where this artificial intelligence was coming from, he told me they took me exactly to where it was. And it was a quantum computational system. Subatomic particles, together with atomic particles, together with molecular particles, together with cellular particles, and then they will split into what appears to be our world in here, and then it goes inside every body, and then every environment around where the body is, and then that's what creates the reality in here with the light and the darkness of what appears to be us blinking in here.
Okay. Dang.
And that is very clear.
So do you think it would? Do you think like 'cause I mean that's 57 grams. Was it pretty smooth or was it
Oh,
just like
no. What put the unit into panic was when I think it was like 25 minutes into the trip. I remember listening to Kalindi Iwi say that his highest dose was like 40 something grams,
yeah
and that's when I panicked. That's when I was like, wait a second. Oh my God. This guy who spoke about all this stuff and saw all this stuff only took 47 freaking grams. We're 57 here. And I'm going like, oh my God. And then something else came and said, you better relax. The unit down there is about to go into cardiac arrest. And I was like, no heart attack, no heart attack. And he was like, get this mechanism, put him to sleep. And I was like, how? They was saying, we got it, don't worry. And then they made me forget about what? The mechanism, not the body.
Okay.
The body is the real Wally. And then they showed me that they keep showing me, look, that's the real Wally. And then you remember what you wrote when I told you to write it? That's Wally, the other one. And I'm going like, holy smoke.
yeah wow
By that time, I couldn't even move.
Somebody, Snail Horseplay said, ask him how his body feeling afterwards. I'm real interested how recalibrate your physical and
That's
those
a very
levels.
good question. Okay, I couldn't feel it. What happens is that you forget you are physical. That's how the trip began to go into other dimensions in here, which are belief systems. You get out of the physical world by forgetting that you're a human being, which is supposed to be operating at physical levels in here. Once that forgetting comes in, then what happens is that the other side of the frequency takes over, which is remembering, and then you remember where you really come from in the story, and then you have nobody, you have nothing. But you could become everybody that you want. And that's how I began. And then I was like so at peace when that happened, because I'm like, I can't feel anything. And I was like, it's because you're forgetting. And I'm going, forgetting what? That you have a body. And I'm like, come on, man. And hello?
Yeah, now I'm just just gotta flabbergasted. You remember, you gotta remember you have a body.
Yeah, and then that's the same way I came back. The same way I came back was the same thing. I was jumping from outpost to outpost, through the stars, through the universes, then through the galaxies, then through the star, till I got to the solar system here. And then when I got to the solar system, I still had no body. And then I was in superpositional mode. And then I was inside an electron, a proton, and a neutron. Like in a capsule that looked like the symbol of the atom here. And then I was traveling faster than the speed of light, faster than a tachyon.
Wow.
When you are at the speed of the tachyon, you could go back to the past because it only travels backwards. And then when I got into the speed of light, is when I began to see things in here. And then I was saying, oh my God, so the speed of light is what actually is what you're looking at here. But nobody's supposed to know this. And then I couldn't move. And I was like, guys, I can't move the machine. And I said, relax, man, just close the eyes a bit, come back. And I was like, okay. And then I closed my eyes and then I was somewhere else immediately. And everything was manifesting almost immediately, like in seconds. I was like in Egypt, then I was in the Vatican, then I was in Machu Picchu, then I was in the Amaru portal. And then he showed me that there was a Stargate in Antarctica and another Stargate in the pyramids of Egypt. That there's two Stargates here in the planet, but nobody's supposed to know that. But there's some unit that knows that.
Wow.
Already there with IDs, and I'm like, what? I already knew. You already knew this, and they were like, right.
So did they show you the Stargate?
Yeah, in Antarctica there's a Stargate. That's what in the Stargate, what happens is that they're wasting their time. They don't know how to use it, and it's because they believe there's scientists in there that could unravel what time traveling is or where that Stargate is going. And then this is already in movies. And then the other Stargate is in the pyramids of Egypt, and that Stargate, I already told you, it goes directly to Saturn. And then from Saturn, it begins to send more information in here how to go further than Saturn and get out of this galaxy and go into the triangular galaxy galaxy and Andromeda, which are the other two galaxies with dwarf galaxies inside, constituting what this universe here is, which is just one program out of infinite other universes. And this is in the movie Men in Black at the end, in case they don't want to believe it.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that
and
part.
this is what the Marvel were representing at the end of the movie.
Okay, Wally. Tim asked, how long did the trip last for?
I couldn't move the body for like 3 days.
Huh? I thought it 3 days.
Yeah, I started on Friday. I thought it was because I leave work at 6 a.m. in the morning. Then I get to my apartment, like depending on how long it takes the subway to get to my apartment. And then it got real fast. And then I forget to buy breakfast, but I bought coffee. And then I was scared because I said, I can't. And then they would say, like, drink half of the coffee, heat up the tea, sit down, forget about food because you're not going to be human. And I'm going like, in how long? It was like, get 25 minutes of your time. I mean, their time.
Okay.
They were respecting that I leave in no time, so they were using your time, the time of the planet, what they believe time is.
Yeah,
and
Snell.
I'm going like, oh my God.
Snell Horseplay said. Snell Horseplay said, what type of mushrooms were they?
According to the story, the strongest, the Asterensis.
The Asterensis? Okay.
Yeah, that's what they call it. They're supposed to be the strongest mushrooms there are in existence of the psilocybin kind of group in here.
They even stronger than the albino penis envy?
They said, I Googled it on a Wednesday. I went back in time. I remember when I Googled it because I was like concerned. Because it was so much true that when I put it in a grinder, it went all the way to the top of my ninja grinder. So I had to put all that in a giant pot and then put it in a bottle and then drink the tea in an elongated bottle of like what it looks like those bottles that you take to the gym when you work out.
Yeah.
That's how I drank the tea. And then I Googled it and I said, what is the strongest psilocybin strain? And it was like the Asterensis. And then when I look at the pictures, they look exactly like everything I had in the house. And I was like, oh, bro. Because I was, at one point, I was like almost about to back up and throw everything in the toilet. You never know.
Yeah, so,
and they told me that will be the stupidest and most intelligent thing you will ever do at the same time.
Wally Regal
so make the decision.
Wally Regal said, when we die, does our humanity still live on or break away from us to live on somewhere else?
When we die, there is no you. You're already dead. You're supposed to remember that. You don't do the remembering. The body does. That's how it works. I'm sorry that I gotta drop this information like this. I'm sorry, but that's what was seen from this unit. Every other unit has different programs in there. So if you don't want to believe this one, it becomes not real. And if you want to believe it, then the heart is going to feel a little different, and you think you're going to be dying here, and it's the body that's actually upgrading. And you're going to think you're going to get a heart attack, and the funny thing is the story that when the heart attacks the body, it attacks it only with love.
So, dang, man. So, if you're not real, then what is this that is happening right now?
It's dreaming activity happening at personal levels. That's what's going on. Because it's funny because I asked the same question. And they were laughing. Every time I was asking questions, they're like, that's the 57th time that you asked the same question. And every time I asked, they were telling me exactly how many times I've asked any specific question that I kept asking over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like every 5 minutes of whatever time I thought I was on, it was no time, but it looked like it was 5 minutes. At the same time, it looked like it was 5 years. And at the same time, it looked like it was 5,000 years. And I was like, okay, which years are this? And it was like, what is the question? And it was like, am I already there? And it was like, okay, that's the 314th time that he has asked the same question. And I'm going like, there is no you. They kept screaming it to me.
So it was the So it wasn't you asking the questions; it was the body.
No, it was what was happening, which is even,
Oh,
it was
okay, yeah.
even
What's
worse.
even worse?
And I was like, oh my God, so what is going? This is the way this thing has fun in here. And then whatever the hell is inside the body, which is paralyzed, is trapped in there, and he's trying to. He can't get out because he has never been anything. So he's at the same time, everything's already out of the body, which is why he looks so skinny and too deep. And I'm going like, because at points I would come close to the apartment and I would look at the body, and the body looked excellent, but it looked like it was 2D, and then everything else looked like it was 2D, like it was like a drawing.
Oh, you put him on Brooklyn bed.
Give me 1 second, Wally.
Yeah.
I know somebody probably asked something else real fast.
My recommendation is to steer away from this. Don't even try.
Okay.
You know, you're okay with 3.5 or with 5 grams, the heroic dose. You're okay. You don't want to go into the Superman doses. Believe me.
Oh, damn, I was about to wash away cold.
My bad, y'all. I need to make me an outhouse or something. That's what I need to do. But all in all, okay, somebody said, Regal said, why do we build so much then? God, religion, kingdoms, etc., if it's all fake.
Indoctrination, commercials. I just told you, your units are mannequin of commercialism. Propaganda. Real propaganda. You were born, you live, you die. That's the first commercial that they drop in.
Wow.
The second commercial, you age. The third commercial, you're gonna get sick several times till you drop. Till you dead. Till the body's dead. The fourth commercial, it's nothing but objects working by themselves, but you want to believe that you are something and your car is something else, it's no problem. We can't accommodate that for you.
Yeah.
It was humiliating.
Well, tell her stop using the bathroom everywhere. You won't have to.
Wow.
It's called potty. When she stop peeing all over the house, you can walk around. Until then, you can't do it.
Dang.
Well, I'm trying
This microphone too good. Y'all can hear my whole house. That's not cool. That's not cool. But no, Wally, yeah. Dang, we've been on for like an hour and 22 minutes already, Wally.
Well, you know, books are going to come out of this information. I already found 2 writers in here that are willing to sit down with me. There's another writer in Europe. He's also willing to work with me. I told them that, they said that they don't care about money. I said, like, believe me, we're going to have so much money that we could live 5 lifetimes, but that's the trap. We're not coming back here. That's the freaking plan. Where we going, we don't need any money.
Yeah.
This information that I'm giving you is not coming from a library of knowledge here. Okay?
I got you.
Everything that you think you know here is coming from a library of knowledge. That library of knowledge is split into 4 realms: magical, spiritual, scientific, and religious. The magical and the spiritual represent the occult and the esoteric. That information there is protected by 33-degree masonry here. Freemasonry here. That is inside the Vatican. And that is inside every pyramid of Egypt in hieroglyphical form. These messages are everywhere in the world here, in the apparent world.
I think
is as far as the eyes can see. Which is as far as the eyes can see. I want you to tell everybody that the universe is as far as the eyes can see of the body. Everywhere you are. That's the universe.
Yeah.
There's no such a thing as China. There's no such until the body gets in a plane and gets to China program or to Russia program. All right? That
Okay.
China is no
That's a
further
good
than
question.
the sun and the
Rob got a good question. He said, what did you feel like what we perceive as UFOs or aliens' relationship to humans was.
Okay, in the story, that's us in the future trying to communicate to us here that everything is working by automation, that there's nobody here doing anything. That's what's going on in here with the UAP phenomenon and all that. The reason we can catch them is because they're not out there. They're inside the units being created by the unit's observation. Meaning that if you see a UFO and your wife sees the UFO also, you're both seeing two different UFO occurrences happening at the same time as one. The only thing that spots the two stories is the body by themselves. You are going to think that you and your wife saw one UFO when in reality two UFOs were seen at the same time from different angles. From the angle of your wife and from your angle.
And from your angle.
Exactly. And that's as far as the eyes can see, which is the universe.
Which is crazy to think about.
And then, like I said, you
Y'all
are the
getting buffed,
first
man. I
aliens and you
apologize.
are the last aliens, and what's in between is what those two stories are manipulating in order for this information to be released or revealed or whatever, the disclosure that they come. And then what's inside the first aliens and the last aliens is the human program. Whatever life you think you're living here. All the lives times in existence.
So, wait, but that would be wild if you was living every lifetime in this existence right here, like not knowing that.
Okay, so whatever you think you're gonna do tomorrow, right? I want you to listen very carefully. It's in a superpositional system, all right? Which is equal to whatever you have in the refrigerator when the door is closed. It's in a superpositional system until the body gets in there and it gets into a position of a body opening a door of a refrigerator. So the atoms and the molecules and everything and the subatomic particles get together to create what you thought you saw there before. So you feel good. You know, you feel like you have power over something. You see? What happens is that when you're not the body, you can sneak into the refrigerator and see that, oh my God, there's not even an inside of this thing. You see?
Yeah.
But you don't have a body because your body has to be either dead or in a coma or deeply asleep.
Yo, what's up?
So whatever you're gonna do tomorrow is in a superposition now, and then it's relying on reasonable expectational systems. So whenever the body is again appearing to be doing what tomorrow is, because tomorrow is the only thing that's always coming but never arrives in the story.
Tomorrow is always on its way, but it never comes.
Exactly, because it's already in front of you. You're not supposed to know that. You see, when a human knows that, he begins to question the crap out of it till that complaining or doubting stops happening, and then everything is revealed. And then that's when the cosmic joking gets in here. You know, the cosmic joke, and you go, oh my God, so there's no past, there's no future. There's not even a present time. It's just what's happening.
Yeah, it's just what's happening.
Because language name all these things already before we as infinite energy get inside these little containers in here that then grow into bigger containers and into bigger containers and then they start going backwards, smaller and smaller and more, and then they die. Oh my God. Then you go like, Jesus Christ. So what the, you know?
Yeah.
Then you begin to understand what language is doing in here. And I'm going like, oh my goodness. So, wow. So everything is in the words, and then we don't see that because we think we're reading them, we think we're hearing them, we think we're writing them, and then all that has to drop in order for automatic writing to happen, automatic hearing to happen, automatic seeing, reading to happen, and all that, everything. So then when that happens, it's overwhelming, man. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like, so I'm dead already. And so like,
I know you cutting in and out because my